Welcome to the Other Sea podcast. Today we are talking about the League Cup final at Wembley against Liverpool. Andrew, this will be the third time that we play Liverpool this season. Obviously we know they're top of the league, so we're going to skip over that. Just quickly before I go into some statistics that I found out for the game, um, we all know how much you've slagged off the League Cup since day one of the season. Although last week you did say, now that we're in it, we might as well win it. What are your thoughts going into this game now?
If we don't win it, it's been a fucking waste of time. The amount of games that we played, the minutes, we've getting injuries left, right, and centre. If we don't win the fucking thing now, it's just a pain in the ass. Um, so I hope we win it. I hope there's some justification of half the squad being injured at all times. I think we've got a chance. You know, you've always got puncher's chance, and I think we'll go on to it later. But Liverpool have a few key injuries that do give us, a little bit more of an uptick and a wink and a nudge than we might have thought beforehand.
Yeah, agreed. The injury list is significant for Liverpool. I didn't realize how significant it was until we started doing the prep for today's episode. Just quickly before we go into injuries and starting 11s and things like that. Um, I mean, what does it mean for Chelsea if we win this if we win this cup? Like, does it change a little bit of how the season's gone for us so far? Talk to me about that side of things.
It's a difficult one on the basis that we won the Champions League and didn't really push on after winning the Champions League.
Well, we won the Club World Cup, but yeah, you're right after that. Yeah, yeah,
So I'd like to think, oh, it gets us into like winning ways, gets us used to winning stuff, which historically does like has been a thing. And I think winning the Carabao Cup can springboard you onto cups that actually mean something and winning cups that mean something.
think again.
Um, but not necessarily. So it's difficult one to say that it's definitely going to push us on. I think it would really help the team out to win something. I think we said before, there's not a lot of players in that team that are serial winners or are used to winning things.
Absolutely not. No.
Um, so it's difficult to say that we'll springboard, but I think it is important that we win something. And it's important for Poch to kind of get that tag off his back of never winning anything in England. Um, so I think it is an incredibly important game for us to win now that we're there.
Yeah, I mean, I think it shows not only the fans, the board, the team itself that they are capable of winning. Um, More importantly, I think if we do win, or even if we're close, and again, I've got a few statistics about previous games that we've had with Liverpool over the last few years. Um, I think it shows pundits, the presenters and stuff that maybe we are actually heading in the right direction. Even if we do come close and we take it to them, I'm hoping that it just kind of goes, do you know what? Yeah, like they're there and thereabouts again against one of the biggest teams in England. Um, and I just feel like it takes a bit of pressure off more than anything else. Um,
I don't think anything short of a win does that for us. I don't think if we take it to pens, and even if we look good and with a better team, I think the narrative will be Chelsea the better team, but still can't win games when they
that's a
need
fair
to win.
shout. But then again, but people have said this that we need the out and out striker, and the closer we're getting to summer, the more and more we're hearing about Osimhen,
Mm.
even from his own camp, and people saying that's what he's saying. He's coming to Chelsea. Granted, that doesn't mean he will, because obviously we've got to agree fees and all that sort of crap with the team with Napoli.
And Napoli are a pain in the arse to negotiate with.
Yeah, I feel like they're the Spurs of Italy.
Yeah.
Only that they can actually win a trophy. Um, so I decided to have a look at like the last few fixtures against Liverpool. So I've gone for the last 10 just because we've played them a lot over the last few seasons. And again, it kind of reminds me of the Mourinho Benitez era. When Mourinho first joined in terms of how much we played them. So in the last 10 fixtures in all competitions against Liverpool, Liverpool have beaten us 3 times, two of which were no, sorry, they've beaten us 4 times, two of which were the cup finals last year in the League Cup and the FA Cup where they won
On
the
pens.
penalties.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, they obviously destroyed us 4-1 a few weeks ago. And then yeah, back in 2020, they beat us 2-0. We beat them 1-0 in 2021, and other than that, they're all draws.
Wasn't there a game at Anfield that when they won the league? When was that? Was that before
2021.
your list? I thought they beat us in that game. It was like 4-5-4, or I thought they won.
No,
Was
no,
that a
they
4-all
beat us.
draw?
They beat us earlier on in the 20. They beat us earlier on in another season, but I got this from Liverpool's website. So
Was it? Was is there like a 4-4 in your list? Do you have that?
no, unless that was the one, unless that was the other 2020 game. I've literally just done the last 10
Well,
fixtures.
yeah, there was definitely a game where they beat. I thought they beat us at Anfield under with no fans, and that was the game that they lifted the trophy for the Prem,
I mean,
which
it
I think
might.
they were going to lift anyway, even if they didn't win. But
Yeah, but that was around 2020, 2021. But
yeah,
unless I've misread one of them. But either way, yeah, last 10 fixtures, they've won four, but two of which were on penalty shootouts. We've won one.
yeah, I think a lot of the games have been quite cagey affairs. Um, in recent memory, anyway. I don't think, obviously, outside of that 4-1 a few weeks ago, they've really been better than us in games against them. I think probably that game I'm trying to talk about at Anfield, I think they were the better side, but Pulisic came on and did well and scored a couple of goals. Well, he definitely got one and sort of turned the game on its head a little bit.
I've got looking at the website again. I've got a 5-3.
That's the one.
Yeah, so that was the end of 2020, and the one that I've got is the beginning of the 2021 season, so September 2020. So that was like
Fine.
literally the game before the 5-3 where they would have picked up on the league. Yeah.
Fair. Um, yeah, I think it's been relatively even in recent times. Obviously, the 4-1 is an exception. A lot of
We didn't turn
draws.
up at that game. To be fair, let's face it, we were not good.
Yeah, and I think it was one of those games where every single time they went forward, they punished us, and Jota scored a goal that ricochet off a couple of players and sort of stayed in his path.
Yeah,
Szoboszlai scored a good goal that was a header. Yeah, there was, for me, it just an abundance of quality in the final third from them. I don't think they had a hell of a lot of chances that they missed. I think they just took the good chances that they got.
which they're known for.
Yeah, and I do think that that is one of their major strengths is they've got at least four, if not five, incredible players to play in that front three that are always going to cause you a problem. So they've always got goal in them. You can never really be completely confident of keeping clean sheet against them. And with sort of Van Dijk at the back, Joel Matip is for me a big loss for them.
He's had a good season.
I think he's a good defender, but Kanate is a very good defender as well. He's quick, he's strong, difficult to get past, commits fouls when he needs to, gets away with them. Um, it's a difficult game, and it's not one that you can go into lightly. We have to be all guns blazing and hope that they're not quite at their top level. If they're at their top level, I think they are better than us.
I think even when they're not at their top level, though, the word that I would use with Liverpool is clinical. I
Hmm.
think they're clinical, and because because that is how they play. You know, it's like even when they are having a slightly bad game, you know, they're not quite at it. all it takes is that one chance, and they will be clinical still.
Yeah, I completely agree. They've got Diaz can have a moment of magic, Salah can have a moment of magic, Jota can have a moment of magic, Trent can score from a set piece out of nowhere when you think you're doing
Yeah.
all right. So I know Trent's probably not fit for this game, but I think they've still got players like McAllister can score a free kick on his day. So
I think he's had a bit of a quiet season, to be fair. I expected a bit more from him. Not that,
famous
not
last
not,
words.
not in terms of like he's had bad games or he's not been performing, but in terms of what we saw from him at Brighton compared to what we've seen him at Liverpool, especially after winning the World Cup and stuff. Um,
Well, I
there's
think definitely early in the season he was playing the wrong role,
yeah,
and he was the one that was sacrificed to do a job. And I think bringing Endo in in theory, has released him. I haven't seen that much of Liverpool with Endo and McAllister in there. Um, the one thing that I think they showed in that drumming of us is that they're quite good at bypassing the midfield if they have to. And our midfield got bypassed, and that is our strongest area of the pitch.
by
And
far.
that's something we need to somehow stop this game is if they just completely bypass our midfield, we're going to have problems.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that I'd say is they were very good at either knocking the ball over the top to a winger in space. We covered that in the post game after that drumming. Then also they were very good at moving the ball through the midfield as if they weren't even there when they wanted to. Um, and they swarmed us in midfield as well. Um, with that, should we start going into the starting 11s? But before I go into the starting 11s, shall I do the injury list?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool. So Chelsea's injury list is Cucurella, Silva, Badiashile, Chukwuemeka, Fofana, James, Lavia, and Ugo Chukwu, aka Big Les. There are rumours that Thiago Silva could have a late assessment, I believe. And who was the other one? Did we say was it just Silva that we said for us was having the late assessment?
Sanchez was on the list that I found, but I don't think he is. I don't
That's
think
it.
he's performing. I think
He's
he's
not on the
fine.
club's list that was posted for this. Liverpool, on the other hand, they have Salah and Nunez, who are both having late assessments. They are potentially playing or potentially not playing if you're a glass half full or glass half empty kind of person. Trent Alexander Arnold is out. Allison is out. Slozbuzlai is out. Curtis Jones is out. Thiago Alcantara out. And Joel Matip is out. There is one more, but we weren't really sure who he was or pronounce his name, so we
I
left him
can't
out.
pronounce his name. It's the I think Serbian midfielder.
Either way, he's out. It doesn't matter. Um, yeah. So with that, should we go into the starting 11s?
Yes.
Lovely. Andrew, your starting 11.
Petrovic in net. Even though Sanchez might be back, Petrovic keeps that place for me.
100%.
Gusto right back. Dizazi and Colwell at centre back.
What you got there?
And Chilwell at left back.
Fair.
Caicedo, Enzo, and Gallagher in midfield. So I feel like all those players kind of pick themselves.
Yep.
Cole Palmer on one side.
I'm guessing you mean the right.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And this is where you struggle. And then I think you go, I'm going to go Jackson and Kunku. I think Jackson's going to end up playing on the left and then Kunku kind of through the middle. but
But
it ends up being a weird system going forward. And I think that's the best chance. There's an argument to play Sterling.
you don't want to play Sterling.
There's an argument to play him, but I
Oh no.
think with that Bradley bloke, he had Sterling in his back pocket. I assume that's who they're going to play at right back with Trent injured.
Yeah, they've been
Play
signaling.
Gomez, but I want to give Jackson a chance, and I think that formation kind of gives some movement around the front three in terms of they kind of swap positions, and you kind of go to a front two at the front, and Cole Palmer and Conor Gallagher kind of pressing in behind, and it kind of goes to 4-2-2-2. But yeah,
The only one I'm not sure about is Nkunku. If I'm brutally honest, if I was going to play this formation, I'm just not sure about Nkunku. Like, I'd like him to start, but I don't think he's been at it when he's come on in the previous games that compared to when before he got injured, whichever injury that number that was. And I was always flirting with the idea of doing a different formation for this final after we got trounced 4-1. And yeah, I'm tempted to do something different because I saw us do it the other day at the end of the game. And annoyingly for me, I don't have the fucking player that I need to bring on the fucking sheet.
which is
Uh, huh?
who?
Trev.
Right. So you're going to do a five at the back.
So yeah, I'm tempted to put the three centre backs on Trev, Dizazi, and Colwell. And I would take Nkuku off. I'd move Gusto up a bit. Chile would then move up a bit, and um, I'd move Palmer into sort of the top role, but obviously I'd have him, Connor, and Jackson sort of like moving around a bit because they like to do that. And I just feel like that might make us a little bit more compact in the midfield, but it still gives us that counter attack entity, which is I think very key for us in this game.
Yeah, the reason I want Nkunku is even if he's not playing well, I think his runs drag players out of position and he creates space.
No, I agree with that. I don't disagree with that comment. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to play Noni
I was thinking about that.
ahead of Nkuku. So I put Palmer at the top, Noni on the right. I think Jackson's got to play.
I need you to lock something in here, Matt.
I'm gonna go with mine. I'm gonna go with my initial one.
Okay.
So I'll get that uploaded properly for when we release the images for the posts. I won't mess around because I don't even know if I've got his picture sorted out yet. But yeah.
Okay. And what do you think the score's going to be, Matt?
It's a part of me that says we could go to penalties again, but I think when I look at I know they've still got power going forward, but when I look at the fact that they don't have Allison in goal, I think that's massive. And they don't have Matip, and they don't have Trent, and their midfield is now looking a bit weaker than it was. Do you know what? I could see us winning 2-1. Goal scorers. I'm gonna go with Connor and Enzo.
I have very similar thoughts to you. I think it could be 1-1, go to pens, or I think if I'm being optimistic, I'm going 2-1 win us.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go 1-1 pens, and we win it on pens. And our goal will be scored by. I'm going to give it to Jackson out of hope more than anything. I think.
You're gonna give it to Jackson.
Yeah. I think the ball's just going to clatter him in the head. He won't know anything about it, and it'll go in.
I mean, you can hope, can't you? after
Yeah,
was it the Villa goal? Was it against Villa that he did?
yeah. I'm just hoping because I'm just thinking back to Didier Drogba when in his first season where he was having a bit of a tough time. Got a goal in the Carabao Cup final that basically came off his knee, and I think that catapulted him to bigger and better things. I'm hoping the same thing happens for Jackson.
I mean, Drogba was a big player in finals. I think there's only one final he didn't score in. Something ridiculously stupid statistic.
Yeah, he did like Wembley. So
Uh,
hopefully Jackson gets the same ice in his veins.
you know what? There's a part of me that actually wants to make a bet with you and be like, do you know what? If Jackson scores, then I'll do this or something because
And what?
I can't see it, but it's your shout on that one. So,
Then you'll straw pedo VK on the pod.
I haven't done that for a while.
There you go.
All right, deal, deal. But if Jackson doesn't score, then you have to do that.
Well, fuck off. The odds of him scoring that wasn't part of the that wasn't part
Oh,
of the
that's why
arrangement.
I'm affirming this. I'm reaffirming in terms of like, so if he does score, then I have to neck it. But then if he doesn't score, because you said he will score,
No, but that's like me going, oh, if Petrovic doesn't score, you can do a VK. Obviously not happening.
do you know what? I'd put money on him scoring a penalty if he had to.
I'm not sure I would, but if it gets there,
We'll do a text in play that yeah,
yeah.
we'll do a text in play.
Yeah, I'm not doing a VK if someone doesn't score in a final because that's crazy.
Fair. Is there anything else that you feel like we need to be aware of with regards to Liverpool? I think actually it's quite hard to predict how Liverpool will come out because I don't it's a very weak midfield that they're going to have for once.
Yeah, I don't think there's really a significant weakness in the back line that you can exploit. So I think it is a difficult one to be confident of scoring a lot of goals in.
What their backline or our backline? Sorry.
Their back line. Whereas like
Oh,
with the City game, you're like, oh, you can have a go at the left back because they don't really have one. With Liverpool, it's
no, I disagree.
assuming Robertson's fit. Bradley looked decent at right back, and at least he is an actual right back. Kanate and Van Dijk are decent centre backs. Kelleher would seem to be their cup final goalkeeper when we played him, or at least played in the Carabao Cup 2 years ago and did well for himself. So he's not a complete mug. There's no like definite we can absolutely obliterate them because of this, or
And
we've got a
that's
real chance of having a go at this.
to be fair, that's why I've said my goals will come from a midfielder because I think it's going to take extra people with runs or shots from outside the box to get that happening. You know, however, I will disagree with you on one player that you said not weak in defense. Connor Bradley had a good game against us in the 4-1, and he's done well in other games for them. I'm not going to take anything away from that. We were too soft against him. Right. And also, I still maintain there are a few challenges where he was actually committing a foul first by grabbing hold of us. We've then tried to do something. Everyone goes down, and for some reason, they got advantage. I want to call it home advantage. Um,
I just don't think
I
we get
think
those decisions, though. To be honest,
this is a neutral ground.
even still, I just don't think we get those decisions from referees, like in general.
Maybe
I
not,
think
but
we have to be absolutely hacked down to get anything.
maybe. But what I am saying is, I'd like to see them put him under a lot more pressure.
Mm.
I don't think we genuinely did enough where he then had to go up to that next level with pulling our shirts or holding us or whatever. And I'm
Yeah,
hoping Jackson on that side. Jackson doesn't like any of that bullshit.
true.
Jackson likes to square up to people and get in people's faces. And I'm really hoping he puts him under a lot of pressure. Is a bit more physical with him. Because I think that will I think that could be his weak link. Because he's still young. Does he have that mentality to fight back with a bit of physicality? Can he be street smart enough to deal with it as well?
It'll be interesting to see if he makes a mistake early on, and we can force him into a mistake early on if he can recover.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's always the interesting thing with
Don't
sort
get me
of.
wrong. I think he looks good. He's got a great goal against us. I mean, Sterling
Mm.
did not track back. Excuse me, but I think there could be a few little weak links in the midfield in terms of them not used to playing. I mean, we haven't mentioned Harvey Elliott. I think Harvey Elliott's a good player.
Yeah.
Um, he could start as well. He scored against Luton during the week. Can't remember if he started or whether he came on. He started. But yeah, if there's one player I think we need to put a bit more pressure on, and with the press as well, it's definitely going to be Conor Bradley. Um, Anything else, Andrew, for this episode of the Overland Sea podcast? Chelsea versus Liverpool League Cup final.
That's it. Let's get a win.
Get the win. Not even 3 points, just the win. Get the cup.
Well, we can't get 3 points.
That's what I'm saying. Not even 3 points.
Yeah.
Right. With that, then, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for the post game. Let's hope there's some decent stuff to talk about. Who knows? Maybe we can actually get the win against Liverpool. We definitely deserve one. And yeah, up the Chelsea. Like, share, comment, follow, subscribe, hit that notification button. And thank you all for watching.